Open them cheeks wide, cause daddy's home. Today's video is going to be a little different because
this shit about to get scary.
Now, if you're a distinguished young man who enjoys the horror genre, there is like an almost definitive chance that you know about Tales from the Crypt and possibly have like a top 3 favorite episode. Unless you're dead ass just a little kid, but I mean, even then, I knew about the Crypt Keeper at like 8 years old. I was watching porn on YouTube at 6 years old. Y'all not on my level. But as of late, I've really been thinking a lot about Tales from the Crypt. And not only the impact it had on me from watching it as a child, but the impact it had on just horror on television in general. Like, just look at a show like Monsters, which came out about a year before Tales from the Crypt. It followed the same kind of horror anthology thing, mainly popularized by The Twilight Zone. And this shit was quite literally Disney Channel compared to the most tame episodes of Tales from the Crypt. Except for one fucking episode that, I kid you not, had my 10-year-old ass looking at the TV like this. This shit had me like, ah! But this video is about Tales from the Crypt, so Monsters can get its own video later down the line if this does good. So what I want to do today, in respect and honor of the legacy that Tales from the Crypt left behind, and the fact that those lazy motherfuckers at HBO won't put it on Max, my legend ass has decided to go over my personal top 5 episodes.
Number 5.
This episode is an absolute fucking classic. If you disagree with that statement, argue with the wall and tug on my balls, pussy boy. Like, I don't know about you guys, but this is one of the main episodes that comes to my mind whenever I think of Tales from the Crypt. The story itself is pretty basic, with just this corrupt businessman. No, I do not remember what fucking business he ran. To what I remember, it was like a casino or some shit, but I don't want to say that and sound dumb. And he's trying to put the moves on this bad little bitch. But this man's game is so fucking trash that he genuinely needs to go to a fucking... I don't even know what you would call her, but she uses fucking voodoo. She uses a magic love potion. And of course, because this is Tales from the Crypt, everything goes to shit within like 6 milliminutes. Which, I know me saying it like that makes it sound like I'm like shitting on the episode, but no, in all reality, the story flows very naturally. And it's really fucking cool watching the woman slowly degrade and like decompose and shit. The special effects are top tier. The ending is both hilarious and genuinely chilling. Like, come on, this earns top 5 easy.
Number 4.
This is an episode that I will genuinely get fucking violent if I ever hear anyone disgrace its name. The last ever aired episode of Tales from the Crypt, and the only animated episode in the entire series, has got to be one of my favorites. I haven't genuinely sat down and watched this episode since I was about 4 feet tall, and I still to this day will think to myself about different lines that are said throughout the episode. It's that fucking memorable. And the animation itself is, like, for the only episode that was ever animated for the entire series, this is damn good. A little like Hanna-Barbera-esque at times, where it seems like they're just using the same clip over and over again, but no big deal. The story is a basic retelling of the 3 Little Pigs, but with a Tales from the Crypt spin to where it's more vulgar. There's, you know, drinking, smoking, big titty. The big bad wolf commits several fucking atrocities that I don't even think Diddy would have done. And our sweet little nerd emoji looking ass pig gets blamed for the deaths. So he breaks out of jail and builds fucking Frankenstein to defeat the big bad wolf. And I mean, Frankenstein hit him with the goddamn works, so it makes sense, but like, why did he choose Frankenstein? For as weird as it fucking is, the 3rd pig is a genuinely amazing episode of the series, and I beg that you go watch it.
Number 3.
The first time you watch this episode, you will not forget it. You might be a little confused what I mean by it. Like, oh, the episode in general? Fuck no, I am not just talking about the episode in general. I am talking about this absolutely disgusting prop that they designed for this episode that quite literally has me looking away from my phone as I'm recording this line. So the episode begins by showing us this couple that runs this very small little like diner, I believe, that is probably as successful as your local Waffle House on a Tuesday. If you don't know what I mean by that, when the fuck have you ever heard somebody say, oh, I'm going to Waffle House on a Tuesday? So yeah, business could not be going worse for these two, with them only being able to average in 1 customer. And when your landlord looks like Doug Dimmadome, you simply cannot afford to be a broke boy. Get your fucking money up. But getting back on track, basically, the tax man comes in, he's like, hey,
I need all this money.
And this dude's obviously mad as hell. But this absolute dumbass decides to rush him as he's walking to the door and slices his hand with a fucking knife, dude. The two walk outside, and the landlord just starts screaming about how,
"You're crazy. I'm calling the cops."
and that's where we meet this character, who introduces the recipes for the human meat steaks, and is pretty much like,
"Hey, bro, you see how we fucking up that steak?"
and like that, business is booming. It is the highest rated episode on IMDb, so fucking obviously it's gonna be in the top 5.
Number 2.
You know this shit is an absolute masterpiece when I myself am disappointed it's only getting number 2. For Crying Out Loud has without a doubt the best twist throughout the entire series. In this episode we're introduced to Marty Slash, and I'm sure already by his name you can tell that the dude is an absolute fucking sociopath. Marty is the producer for a rock band, and he's also running a Save the Amazon campaign that's supposed to drag up millions of dollars in charity money that he will eventually attempt to steal for himself. But before Marty can escape with all of the money, his banker comes in and is basically like, "I'll give you some mad dome if you take me to Britain." But Marty don't want no head, he just want money. So he kills her with a fucking guitar. You could not have made that more fucking difficult for yourself, bro. You mean to tell me there wasn't one knife in that big ass room? Oh yeah, and I realized that I haven't mentioned it. Marty hears fucking voices in his head. That's like the main plot point of the episode. For Crying Out Loud is quite possibly the best written episode from Tales from the Crypt, but in my opinion, there is one episode that just outdoes it still.
Number 1.
This episode does everything it tries to do right. The second aired episode of Tales from the Crypt was a Christmas episode, and unlike a lot of other things in the Christmas horror genre, this genuinely captures the feeling of an old-timey Christmas movie. The opening to this shit quite literally feels like being wrapped up in a warm blanket at 7 years old, the night of Christmas Eve. And hey, I'm not just gonna sit here and fucking jolly max, alright? The scares are damn good too. After the beautiful opening that genuinely brings a tear to my eye every time I fucking see it, we then see our main protagonist drive a fire poker into her husband's head so that she can get all of his money. And they try to like make the dude seem like he's like a really big asshole or something, and that's why she did it. But then she immediately calls her lover that she's been meeting in secret, and it's like,
"I did it. We can finally be happy."
so I don't know. Personally, my vote is still for the Santa Claus. He's a true hero to this story. But they also establish that she has a daughter she needs to protect from this freaky fuck early on, so, you know, you end up rooting for her by the end of it, but it's not for her own well-being, it's simply for the little kids. And they introduce the idea that she can't call the police because of the dead body, but they do it way better than they did in the comics because they actually give more reason to why she can't. But in the comics, she's just kind of like, "Oh, damn, I killed bro, so I can't call the cops," when she very easily could have just blamed it on the escaped fucking convict. So yes, and All Through the House is gonna have to be my top pick for this top 5 list. If you ever get the chance around the holidays, I really recommend watching this one because it makes it just that much better. And that was my top 5 list. If I'm being honest, this is probably my favorite video I've done on this channel so far. This shit was genuinely so much fucking fun to do. So if you like this video, comment down below and let me know what you liked about it. If you didn't like it, you know, do the same fucking thing, dude. I'm not just gonna repeat myself. And if you didn't agree with any of my picks, let me know. If you feel like anything was missing. If I had to make an honorable mention, it'd probably be the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and the old guy where he like changes his body over because of the scientist and like he has to keep doing it. And with that said, that's gonna be the end of this video, baby boys and girls. Thank you for watching, and please comment something below. I fuck with reading comments.